Hi everybody, Fintan here from Dams and Cloud, and this week we've got something a little bit different in store for you. We'll be reviewing the Avocor Desk 27, which is a Google Meet device, and it's actually been my primary Google Meet device for the last few months, and I'm really excited to tell you guys about it. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Hi everybody, Fintan here from Dams and Cloud, and as I said, this week we're going to be talking about the Avocor 27, a really interesting device that I've been using myself for the last few months, and it's now become my primary Google Meet conferencing setup in my office at home. So I want to talk about the hardware, I want to talk about my own sort of review of it, what I kind of think of the device, some pros and cons that I've kind of seen, and then who this device is aimed at and who it's kind of for. So let's start off with the spec. Firstly, it's a 27-inch HD touchscreen monitor, as you can see here. It's got a 5 megapixel camera up at the top with a nice little camera cover, which I think is a nice touch because particularly when you're in the work from home or in the office nowadays, people want the ability to, have a physical camera cover a lot of times, and that they can be just guaranteed that nobody is watching them when the device is off. The other thing is that it's got 8 microphones built in. And I've really seen, when I get to the review, but I'll talk about it, but I've really seen the audio quality from my side improve. So that's fantastic. Google also has Google's AI True Voice technology built in, which is making sure that those background noises and stuff are being cut out. And again, improving the quality of your video conferencing setup. So at the back of the device, we've got the power output, up and down brightness, not volume, which is actually one of my gripes. We've got the sort of secondary device selection, your kind of HDMI selection, and you can add external devices to it, which is great. You've got 2 USB A's, you've got 1 USB-C, HDMI, Ethernet, and headphone port. So all of those things that you kind of expect on a device like this, and you can add external devices. I'm going to touch on this later on. You can add external cameras, you can add external audio devices if you wanted to. There isn't a necessity to, but I have added my DSLR camera that I'm recording off now to the device just so you guys see me in shot when I join a video call. So you can do that. You do have those capabilities as well, which is great. So let's talk about some of the pros and cons of this device. Firstly, I think the 2 key features of this device is high quality video calls. I mentioned the feature list there at the start. We can see that it's obviously going to give you high quality video. It's going to give you high quality audio. And I've definitely experienced that over the last few months. I'm able to easily join a video call. People can always hear me. They've actually commented on the improvement in my audio setup as well, that people have said, even though they don't know I'm using the Meet device, that they can hear me much clearer than the setup that I had previously. People have also commented on how crisp the video is as well. So again, that's fantastic. As I said, you can add external devices like cameras, but the built-in one is much better than my MacBook or even other devices that I have and other external cameras that I've had previously. In terms of the other major feature, it's a digital whiteboard, and so we have here the magnetic pen, which is quite cool that it just kind of sticks on, so it's always there and available. And so you can actually use it even on your own to just start a whiteboard or Jamboard session. And if you want, you can start to I don't know if you're familiar with Jamboard, but you can start to draw, or I could go and add in a little Google picture or a little sticker if I want. We'll add a little happy guy. I don't want to add the sad fellow. I could add photos, images, everything that you can do in the Jamboard. We've got another Jamboard video. We'll link to that so you can take a look. And so I could work on this on my own, or I could add other people to it if I wanted to, and I could collaborate on this Jamboard. And I have used the Jamboard on my laptop and it's fine, and I've used it on an iPad, which is nice. But having this in my office has just made the Jamboard much more accessible to me. And I'm often able to share a jam, which is what Google call it, when I'm in a video call, and my team can collaborate and kind of see what I'm doing on the Jamboard as well, which is great. So that's the digital whiteboard piece. But you can also add those, as I said, to a Google Meet, which I'll show you in a second. the other, for me, they're the kind of two major features. The other piece that I kind of wasn't expecting is that as well as being able to join a Google Meet, I can actually join a Zoom call and a Cisco WebEx call as well. Now, I haven't done the WebEx one, but I have joined a Zoom call. Customer invited me to, and it was excellent. I was able to join the Zoom call. They had invited me to it. It actually appeared down here. I didn't have to type in the Zoom link. It appeared down here, told me that it was a Zoom one, and I was able to join that. I wasn't full featured, didn't have every single feature that I would have if I had Zoom on my desktop or my laptop, but I had most of the things that I needed. I was able to join the call, and again, from the customer's perspective, they didn't even know that I was on a Google Meet. So I think that was fantastic. As I said, you've got the stylus here. I tend to not use it on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, I can just tap this and it will join my meeting. As I said, I've got the external camera set up, so we're going to get a little bit of camera inception here, which is cool. I've got all of the usual features that you'd expect. I can mute myself, turn my camera off. I can do audio captioning as well. I can do my little emojis, which a lot of people are familiar with now in Google. I can add the jam I was talking about now. So now I'm going to open up a new Jamboard, but my video call is in the corner here. So I have the video call and I have the jam session, so I can do whatever I want here and draw my little pictures and collaborate with my team. So that would be auto shared with anybody who's in the video call with me. Okay, and then I can go back if I want, a little bit of a stretch for me, to my video call. I can do the usual sort of hand raising as well. I can go in here and I can switch cameras, change my layout, turn off captions. One thing I will say is that I would often join now, when I join on here, I would often join via companion mode. I don't know if anyone's ever used companion mode on Google Meet, but it's a fantastic feature. Basically allows you to join without the kind of audio and video capabilities, and you're just able to do the Q&A and the polling and the breakout rooms and that kind of stuff. I tend to do that now, and it is a habit that you kind of need to get into because this is a separate device. So if someone sends a message in here, I can see it, but responding to it is kind of awkward with the on-screen keyboard. If I join on my MacBook when I'm in a call, on companion mode, it means I can see open links. That's a common one that happens to me. Someone sends a link in here, and if I'm not joined in companion mode, then I can't open the link. And so that's definitely something that you kind of have to get used to. But once you do, it's okay. I join my meeting now on my laptop in companion mode, and I join it on my Google Meet device as well. Okay, so they're kind of some of my major pros. There's probably only 2 or 3 things that kind of I would call cons, not major ones, but just little kind of irritations for me. So I'm just going to go through those that I sort of found. One is that the audio is software based. So when I join a meeting, as you saw earlier on, I assumed that these controls on the back were actually the volume controls, but they're not. They're the brightness controls. Now I'll just turn off the video there. So in order to turn the volume up and down, took me a little while to find this, but you basically have to do it within here. Once you've found it, it's fine, and it will save kind of, where you set your volume, and I don't generally tend to have to touch it, but it was just sort of a little kind of quirk that it took me a little while to find. The other piece is that when you're in a call, you can't do things like background. So if you've used the Google backgrounds in Google Meet, if you've blurred your background, again, the device kind of assumes that it's in a public space. And that maybe a couple of people are, 2 or 3 people are sitting around and using it. And so it assumes that you're not going to want to use the backgrounds. I actually kind of would like to. I'd like to certainly be able to blur my background. So that's something that they're both software things. I hope Google and Avocor will do an update to maybe fix that at some future date. And then the last thing is private meetings. So this is a meeting here in my calendar that's private. And so what this means is I can't actually join this without typing manually in the numbers or the kind of Google Meet code. And that's just a little bit frustrating. Particularly, I have a couple of recurring private meetings for the senior management team. And so every time I have to type in those and join them. Again, it's a little thing, but it's a little bit irritating. So I just wanted to point those out. Other than that, I have found this to be a very high quality device. There certainly has been no expense spared on the equipment, and I've been extremely happy with the quality of calls and the ease of use of the device as well. We will touch on at some later stage in a different video the administration part of Google Meet. Obviously, I have a Google Meet license that I got with this, and I, as an administrator, able to manage the device on the back end, which is also very, very useful. Okay, so I think we'll wrap up with who's this device actually for, because it is a high-end device. And it does have a high cost in most regions. So I think it's not an investment that people would take lightly. I think it's designed primarily for probably two sort of groups of people. Either a business that wants to create a office space, or within their office space, a small breakout space that they want to have video conferencing capabilities. I think a device like this is really powerful for that. It can kind of turn what Google would term dark rooms that don't have video conferencing into a room that has video conferencing capabilities. And I think with so many people working remotely and working hybrid now, when teams are in the office, and we've seen this across the board, the need for video conferencing is much higher because there's somebody in their team who's working from home who maybe needs to dial in. We actually had it ourselves recently, only this week, where we had a team day. A couple of people couldn't make it, and I had to kind of bring a video conferencing setup with me to the WeWork so that the team who weren't able to make it could join remotely. So I think a device like this, I've had 3 people in my little small office physically join a call, and it worked really well. Everybody could be heard crystal clear, and we were all able to fit in the nice wide angle cameras. So I think it's perfect for that kind of situation. And then I think the other side would be the work from home setup. Somebody that really wants to up their work from home setup game. I think, as I said, it is a significant investment, so you would have to consider that. But I think for me personally, it's going to be my, I bought this device, and it's going to be my go-to Google Meet device, because I work from home all of the time. We're a fully remote team. I am on dozens and dozens of meetings a week, primarily Google Meet, obviously. And so it makes sense for me to kind of make that investment. What I've kind of found is my own device sometimes would have so many tabs open, so much software running on it. And I would sort of find that I would join a Google Meet, and sometimes my laptop would kind of creak a little bit from all of the things that I'm making it do, running 2 or 3 monitors. And so it just means for me that this is totally separate. I never have any audio issues. I just join a call straight in, and everybody's able to hear me. And then I've got the touchscreen capabilities as well. Incidentally, when you connect it as an external monitor, you can install an extra piece of software if you want to use the touchscreen with your external device. So I actually did that with my Mac, and I was able to kind of control or use the touchscreen with my Mac, which was pretty cool. So that's it for me this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review and overview of the pros and cons of the Avocor 27 Google Meet and Jamboard device. As I said, if you haven't checked out these devices, I would recommend that you do. If you have a need for something like this, do check out our website and get in touch. We have a partnership with a company called Gecko Tech, which is Google Meet specialists, and I would highly recommend them if you do have any requirements for Google Meet devices, or indeed check out the Avocor website itself. Thanks very much, and I will see you guys next week.